I've been blown up, I've been shot at, people around me have been hit.
Behind those trees right there.
Right.
Tonight's headline, South Vietnam surrenders and the communists occupy Saigon.
The year was 1975, and I was selling memberships to a national hunting club part-time while dealing used auto parts as my real job. With no money, no experience, I got the idea of starting a club of my own, sharing the unique culture of hunting across the Lone Star State. Our first magazine was called Texas Hunters Hotline, and it was an instant success. As the stories grew and the pages increased, so did the membership for the Texas Trophy Hunters Association, and the magazine took on the same name. Soon, we created the first Hunters Extravaganza that had never been done before, and in 1998 came the television show, Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters. I'm Jerry Johnston. Join us as we chronicle the people, the culture, and the experience that is the Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters.
I saw more buck tonight within 86 yards than I've ever seen in one spot.
So what you're telling me is you were in shock and you couldn't shoot something, right? Unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was insane. I've never seen that many buck in one spot. It was absolutely amazing. And there's me. I'm not a deer hunter. And I'm like, oh, look at that one, look at that one. I saw some pretty cool things out there.
It's a nightly ritual here at the skinning shed on the 27,000-acre West Texas ranch. Matt Wolf has come here all the way from North Carolina, and he's just had his eyes opened to Texas whitetail after returning from his first afternoon hunt.
I'm going to end up killing something that's very significant.
Matt knows he's come to a special place. West Texas, in the world of whitetail hunting, is flyover country. Few have stopped to notice the Concho Valley, tucked between the Texas Hill Country and the wide open oil fields of the Permian Basin. Other than the massive pecan hardwoods, you'd be hard-pressed to find a tree over 10 foot tall. But that makes no difference to the bucks here at the Rocking Chair Ranch.
Our first day out here, it was exceptionally hot. I was paired up with my guide, Mr. Cody.
It was way back on Friday afternoon when Matt and his guide, Cody Arrington, headed out to the huge front pasture miles away so they can get out of the harsh wind. Matt's about to find out Cody's not one to sit in the blind. He'd rather rattle in a buck any day.
We're gonna get out, we're gonna rattle just a little bit and see what happens. It's hot today. I don't know how good it's really going to be today.
So tell me about yourself, Cody.
I'm born and raised Abilene, Texas. Been hunting and fishing all my life. Been guiding deer hunts since I was 20, so I guess 20 years now. Been out here at this ranch for about 15.
The first place that we stopped, Mr. Cody decided to jump out and do this thing called rattling. Well, I had heard about what it was, but I had never actually experienced it. And I thought that it was kind of hokey. But Mr. Cody explained what the theory was behind it.
Like he's been doing for years now, Cody's using a set of rattling horns taken from a mule deer buck his granddad killed years ago. He's got them tuned to a fine, deep, husky tone, like two old heavy-horned mature bucks are involved in a fight to the end.
After about 15 minutes of rattling, nothing was happening. And so Mr. Cody decided to pack it up and move to the deer blind.
Let's roll, brother.
It takes a while, but Matt finally sees what this rattling is all about.
The Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters is made possible through a partnership with Kubota. For every task, every terrain, there's a Kubota dealer in your area. Snyper hunting products, changing the game of wireless game cameras. And Horizon Firearms, custom long-range rifles and accessories.
hunting guide Cody Arrington really wanted to convince his skeptical hunter, Matt Wolf, that horn rattling really does work. It's the first afternoon of this show of support hunt for heroes on the Rocking Chair Ranch in West Texas. This annual hunt has been going on for 15 years now. So many combat veterans over the years have been introduced to their first hunting experience right here. Like so many November afternoons in this part of the world, it's hot and windy. Not ideal conditions for horn rattling at all.
On our approach into the blind, I looked at the area all around us, and we crawled into this blind, this little building, and I thought there is no way we are all going to fit in here. But we definitely did, and you know, it provided us with these portals for observation and for shooting.
Cody has only missed one of these hunts over the last 15 years, and that was due to the birth of his first child. He's heard some incredible stories sitting in these deer blinds on the Rocking Chair Ranch.
I joined the Marines at 17. It was kind of a family tradition. My grandfather served, my uncle served, my dad served, and just felt like it was the right thing to do. I did 4 years in the Marines. I deployed to the 1st Gulf War. I got out and I turned on the news one night. I watched some people dragging the bodies of a soldier through the streets of Mogadishu. Long story short, I ended up joining the Army as an 11 Bravo. The next logical step for me was to join Special Forces, and I was assigned to 1st Special Forces Group. Deployed to Iraq a couple times, deployed to Afghanistan. I've been blown up, I've been shot at, people around me have been hit, and I was always the lucky one. 8 days after I retired, I was hit by a drunk driver. My injuries were 8 breaks above the knee. My knee was crushed, 6 breaks below the knee. My foot was crushed, partially collapsed lung, swelled head, and broken fingers on each hand. I stayed conscious throughout the entire thing. I've had a total of 12 surgeries so far.
Holy cow. Oh, broke your femur too.
Yeah.
Is that right above your knee?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
When the guy hit me, my leg, obviously you saw those pictures, it opened up, but pieces of my bone were laying there on the ground. They put them in Ziploc bags. I've kept a fairly detailed photo and video journal of what happened to me and the different stages of my recovery. And I keep them with me to serve as a reminder of where I came from.
Matt's story and this rare show and tell gets cut short by a blur that races past the front of the blind right in their laps. Then there's something at the edge of the window.
This segment of the Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters is made possible through a partnership with Horizon Firearms, custom long-range rifles and accessories.
His rack was almost, this is no exaggeration, his rack was almost twice the size of anybody else that was out there. And they knew not to mess with the old guy.
With a nice buck right in their laps, Cody and Matt can only sit motionless and helpless, hoping not to make a move and ruin the entire evening hunt. For an East Coast, North Carolina deer hunter, this is a buck of a lifetime. Matt waits for Cody to give him the go-ahead.
I'm super excited, number one, just to be here. Number two, to see what I'm seeing. Mr. Cody is like, nope, just wait. Just wait. It's probably best not to take the shot on the first significant thing you see. This may be the one and only shot that I have to really take down something like this. But I had to rely on Mr. Cody's better judgment, so we waited. I have no choice in the matter but to rely on Mr. Cody's judgment. And it was absolutely amazing. It was a beautiful animal.
Give me the gun. You got it.
Back at Camp Freedom, a slow progression of combat veterans, guides, and ranch staff assemble outside the skinning shed. It's here where they'll make a plan for the next morning, and Cody hopes the cooling air will make better rattling conditions.
It was extremely early in the morning. It was a little bit chilly. It was dark. I wasn't entirely sure where we were going to for this morning's hunt. I live in North Carolina. A couple of my friends have taken me out hunting, and I can tell you right now, any of those deer that we saw yesterday, if we were in North Carolina, they would have gone down.
We're gonna look at the deer that we looked at yesterday afternoon, that wide deer. There should be a good 9 coming in there. We don't have a north wind like what I wanted this morning, but with a south wind this morning where we went yesterday afternoon, it's pretty much our best bet.
Okay.
See what all we can get going.
A sniper is patient. Don't always take that first shot. You're taking a chance, but you never know what's going to come out from those bushes.
As time passes and the clearing lights up, Matt's excitement grows with every set of antlers he sees, every twitch of a tail. One thing Cody has not told Matt: they're only here in this blind to let it get light enough so they can go rattling, a holding pattern of sorts.
The area had repopulated with those young bucks, a couple more doe, and then all of a sudden the old buck comes back out. I was pretty excited to see this guy again. Again, you know, we're talking about Texas bucks. There's nothing in North Carolina like this. Whatever I'm looking at in my scope is the biggest buck that I've seen. It was massive. And we saw him come back up into that area. Yeah, I wanted to pull the trigger. All of a sudden, the entire place just emptied out. Everybody scattered. Not really sure why. Not really sure where he went or what he was doing, but he'd moved on. I thought for sure my chances of seeing him again, done. Mr. Cody decided that we were going to move on. So I was happy to get up and go, you know, take a look at something else. We went to a new location. Mr. Cody pulls out his antlers to start rattling again. He's rattling. He's about 8 inches from my ear. A big giant buck moved across our front, left to right.
You see him?
He had gone behind a thicket of bushes. I repositioned myself in anticipation of him popping out the other side.
Closed captioning for the Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters is made possible through a partnership with Snyper Hunting Products, changing the game in wireless game cameras.
It was a buck that caught them by surprise. A great, wide West Texas 8-pointer. And hunting guide Cody Arrington held his hunter off. Besides, it was only the first afternoon of this show of support hunt for heroes with combat veteran Matt Wolf, who served in the United States Marines, then joined the Army and worked his way up through Special Forces. He survived numerous deployments and carries the scars of bombs and bullets, only to be struck down and permanently injured by a drunk driver. On the second day of their hunt, they spotted the 8-pointer from the night before. Cody is about to give Matt the green light on this buck when the area clears out. That buck never shows up again. Cody makes his move, and he brings Matt to the bottom of a cedar-choked hillside. The echoes of these old mule deer antlers carry far enough for the one buck they're looking for.
Behind those trees right there.
Right. A big, giant buck moved across our front, left to right. He had gone behind a thicket of bushes. I repositioned myself in anticipation of him popping out the other side. As we were sitting there looking at this buck, we determined that it was the same buck from last evening. The same one. You can't make that up. He had a certain area that he liked to go to that was his area, and we just happened to catch him in another spot.
That's our big 8 from this morning again.
I'm looking through the scope the whole time, just amazed at what I'm seeing. I'd never seen anything like this.
Oh no, let him do that. Let him sit there and do that. That's cool.
He was fighting this bush for quite a while, and every move that he made, I'm putting my crosshairs on him. Mr. Cody's like, nope, nope, wait for him to go broadside. I was thrilled. After the old buck got done beating up the bush, he looked off to our left and he saw another buck. Now I'm thinking, this buck is gone. But then he stopped and he looked right at us. I was cleared hot to shoot.
He's hit. That was cool. That was cool when he was down there in the bush, but what the camera never saw is where that buck come out right up here behind us.
Yeah.
Came right there, and that's what made him mad enough when he started cutting across over here. What did we hit the horns just a second, got him stopped.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a lot of fun.
Listen, dude. I had this flag on my uniform through 2 trips to Iraq and 1 trip to Afghanistan.
That's cool.
And that's yours.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
After 12, 13, 15 years of doing this with you guys, that's very cool. I met the Commandant of the Marine Corps at one point in time. I thought that was very cool. It's one of the coolest things anybody's ever given me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's cool.
cleared this bush, and I looked down. I saw these giant antlers sticking up out of the grass. I was amazed. It was the biggest rack I had ever seen. The antlers on this deer were wider than my shoulders. It was massive. I knelt down behind it and I grabbed the antlers and I'm holding them up and I'm kind of comparing them to my shoulders. How wide do you think this guy is? I wanted to play it off like, okay, well, you know, I got a deer. It's really not that big of a deal. But inside, I'm like exploding. I'm like, yes, this is the one. We saw it last night. I took pictures of it last night. I saw him again today. I was super proud. But I didn't want to seem overly enthusiastic about it. I wanted to play it cool. That is
He's an
incredible.
old, mature West Texas whitetail.
Yeah. Unbelievable. That was the coolest thing ever.
Cody finally showed his true colors. Yeah, he got her done finally.
Back at Camp Freedom, Show of Support founder Terry Johnson sees blood on Cody's tailgate. Moments like these are what he lives for. You see, it was Terry who started this national movement taking combat veterans hunting.
Cody says, do it.
It all began on this piece of sacred ground 15 years ago. Matt Wolf, like so many others before him, joins a fraternity forever touched by the November winds of West Texas.
The Journal of the Texas Trophy Hunters is made possible through a partnership with Kubota. For every task, every terrain, there's a Kubota dealer in your area. Snyper hunting products, changing the game of wireless game cameras. And Horizon Firearms, custom long-range rifles and accessories.